You know what's wild? Right now, across baseball forums and group chats, Dodgers fans are having the kind of heated debate that only happens when something truly massive is on the table. We're not talking about some mid-tier rental or depth piece here. We're talking about the possibility of the Los Angeles Dodgers acquiring Carrick Skubal, a two-time Cy Young winner who's legitimately one of the most dominant pitchers on planet Earth right now. And the craziest part, this isn't just wild speculation anymore. There are actual trade packages being floated by credible analysts that make this feel shockingly real. Let me set the stage for you. The Dodgers just won back-to-back World Series championships. They've got arguably the deepest roster in baseball right now. On paper, they don't need anything. They're already the team everyone else is chasing. But here is what makes the Dodgers the Dodgers. They don't think like that. Good enough has never been good enough for this organization. When they see an opportunity to get even better, to add another weapon that could be the difference in October, they don't hesitate. That mentality is exactly why we're even having this conversation about Skubal now. Jim Bowden recently threw out a trade package that got everyone talking. He proposed the Dodgers could offer Emmett Sheehan, Justin Wroblewski, Jackson Ferris, and Zane Hope to Detroit for Skubal now. When you see those names written out together, your first reaction is probably something like mine was. That's a lot to give up. These aren't just random prospects. We're talking about two pitchers who are basically major league ready in Sheen and Wroblewski, plus two other highly regarded young arms. That's the kind of package that could accelerate Detroit's rebuild by years. But here is where it gets interesting. Bowden made a point that really stuck with me. He said the Dodgers already have 4 elite arms in their rotation and are currently in the process of developing Roki Sasaki. So why would they need Skubal? His answer was simple, and it's something every baseball person knows to be true. You can never have too much pitching, especially when you are built for October, especially when your entire organizational philosophy revolves around maximizing your championship window. Think about what Skubal would represent in that rotation. You'd be adding a guy who won the Cy Young Award in back-to-back seasons, a pitcher who throws absolute gas, has elite command, and has proven he can dominate. Putting him alongside what the Dodgers already have? It almost feels unfair. The rest of the league is already worried about facing Los Angeles in a playoff series. Adding Skubal would basically be the Dodgers saying they're going all in on absolute domination. But let's talk about the other side of this, because it's not as simple as just making the trade and celebrating. You'd be giving up 4 legitimate prospects. Sheehan and Wroblewski have both shown they can pitch at the major league level. They're not theoretical future contributors. They're guys who could help the Dodgers right now and definitely over the next several years. Jackson Ferris and Zane Hope represent longer-term upside, but the kind that could turn into frontline starters down the road. When you package all 4 together, you are talking about a significant chunk of organizational depth. The reaction from Dodgers fans has been exactly what you'd expect. It's split right down the middle. One side is saying absolutely make that trade without hesitation. Skubal is a proven commodity, a Cy Young winner in his prime, exactly the kind of ace you need to anchor a rotation through October. Windows don't stay open forever, and when you have a chance to add a difference maker of that caliber, you do it. The other side is more cautious, pointing out that you'd be trading away multiple pieces of the future for essentially one guaranteed year of Skubal before he hits free agency. That's the tension that makes this so compelling. It's not a clear-cut decision either way. Both arguments have real merit. If you make the trade and Skubal helps you win another championship, nobody's going to second-guess giving up those prospects. But if you trade away that much young talent and something goes wrong, whether it's injuries or underperformance or just bad playoff luck, you are left with genuine regrets about what you gave up. From Detroit's perspective, this package would be incredibly appealing. They're in full rebuild mode right now, trying to accumulate as much young talent as possible. Getting 2 major league ready pitchers plus 2 high upside arms would be exactly the kind of haul that could jumpstart their rebuild. The Tigers know they're not competing for championships anytime soon. So trading Skubal, while his value is at its absolute peak, makes they can restock the farm system, build around younger players, and set themselves up for sustained success down the road. But here is what I keep coming back to. The Dodgers have been in this position before. They've faced these exact kinds of decisions multiple times over the last decade. Pay big now to maximize immediate impact, or keep the young core to sustain success over the next 10 years. And honestly, they've usually leaned toward the present. That's part of what makes them such a consistently excellent organization. They recognize when their window is wide open and they're willing to push chips into the center of the table. What makes this situation particularly interesting is where the Dodgers are in their competitive cycle right now. They're coming off consecutive championships. Their core is still in its prime. They've got superstars like Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman who are still performing at elite levels. This isn't a team that's trying to figure out if they can contend. This is a dynasty trying to extend itself for as long as possible. Adding Scuball would be a statement that they're not satisfied with just winning. They want to dominate. T here is also the psychological element of what this move would do to the rest of the National League. Imagine you are the Braves, or the Phillies, or the Padres, teams that are legitimately good and have championship aspirations. You already know getting past the Dodgers in October is the biggest obstacle in your path. Now imagine they add Tarik Skubal to their rotation. That's the kind of move that breaks spirits around the league. It sends a message that the gap between the Dodgers and everyone else isn't just staying the same, it's getting wider. The farm system strength is a huge factor here too. The reason the Dodgers can even have this conversation is because they've done such an excellent job developing talent. They have the pieces to make this kind of trade without completely gutting their future. That's the advantage of running a smart, well-managed organization for years. You accumulate enough depth that you can afford to trade from it when the right opportunity presents itself. Now, let's be realistic about Skubal's situation. He's got one more year of team control before hitting free agency. That means if you trade for him, you are essentially renting him for 2026, unless you can work out an extension. That's where the risk calculation really comes into play. Are you willing to trade 4 prospects for 1 year of elite pitching? Or do you believe you can sign him long-term and make this a move that impacts multiple seasons? Those are very different scenarios with very different risk-reward profiles. The injury history and workload concerns are legitimate too. Pitching is inherently volatile. Guys break down, velocity drops, Duff plays differently in new environments. Skubal has been incredibly durable and effective, but T here is always risk involved when you are acquiring a pitcher, no matter how dominant he's been. The Dodgers medical staff and analytics department would obviously do their due diligence, but you can never eliminate uncertainty entirely. What really strikes me about this whole situation is what it says about the Dodgers' organizational philosophy. They operate from a position of strength and confidence. They're not scared to make big moves. They're not paralyzed by the fear of giving up prospects who might someday be. They evaluate what helps them win championships now, and they go get it. That aggressiveness, that willingness to push for every possible advantage is exactly why they've been so successful. For fans, this creates that familiar tension between excitement and anxiety. You want to see your team get better. You want to add the kind of player who could be the difference between winning and losing a playoff series. But you also get attached to prospects. You watch these young guys come up through the system and you imagine,